It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that actually subscribes to my show and show me love. In the House of the Legends, these guys, they have a show called Next Sound Live. And they are dynamic. This show is really off the chain. I be down here sometime and I watch it, and they really, really are creative. In the House of the Legends, we have Jason Valentine and Will B. Walker. Welcome to the Legends, guys.
Thank you for having us.
You know, I've known Jason for a while because he actually has been down here when I wrap up a show or before. And I just found out that you're Will, so that's cool. So let's talk about the show, man. When did it actually erected?
It started in the summer of 2020.
Okay.
We started taping in the summertime, and this is while not knowing what the idea was.
Okay.
It was just taping.
Right.
And by the time it was released, it was in September, where we featured 3 artists in one episode.
Okay. And who had the vision for the show?
It was more like a collaborative effort. So I did a birthday party every year. The birthday party was like a talent show.
Right, okay.
So I already had like this one leg up on throwing a big party and having people to come and perform at this party.
Right.
So the idea basically was an artist showcase, performances, but then what will make this a TV show? Like what other, aside from a talent show, what makes this a TV show? So we decided to incorporate the interviews in.
Okay.
And then once we incorporated the interviews along with the talent, it became Next Sound Live.
Okay. So for you guys, when did it actually become a buzz and say, well, listen, this is something that's really going to be so real and very, with fidelity?
I would say by the time we got to season 3,
Right.
because we was shooting the show in the living room where it all started
Okay.
there, and to be able to hold the attention of artists, knowing the venue, we didn't know whether it was going to work or not, but the fact that they continued to come and some were the repeats, it just lets us know that something big was going to happen with this, so we had to keep going.
Okay. Whose idea was it to have a live viewers in the studio? Because I noticed you guys have live audiences.
Yes.
And so who did that?
I think that was more so Jason
Okay.
wanted to incorporate, he's a big wrestling fan.
Okay.
So he wanted
I see that earlier. We talked about that. Yeah.
He wanted to incorporate that live feel from watching like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, where the audience is heavily involved in a part of the cinematography.
Right.
So we wanted to have that view to whereas you weren't just watching the show, you were actually a part of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did y'all actually incorporate them to come down to the studio as a live audience?
It all came down to footage. We had a lot of great artists that were
Right.
on the show. People see the lights, they see the fog, they see they hear the sound, the way, the show is coming off to the viewers, and it just worked out better that way. I felt like it was needed. That was the only thing that was missing on the show, was the energy, because we couldn't get that in the living room because I'm not fitting 23 people inside
I can imagine
this
that,
living room, so this was the perfect spot to do it, and the audience, they enjoy it.
Okay.
And
the artists themselves, do they elevate from your show as far as their performance and things of that nature?
Yes,
Some do.
definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
I
let's
think
talk
so.
about
It's,
that.
It's such an intimate. It was such an intimate performance space.
Right.
So there's like little to no room for error. If you're not ready, if you weren't ready, then that would be seen.
Okay.
Without the audience there, it's easier to gauge and work with people to do a retake. But now we're at a phase now we can't do retakes.
Oh,
We're
okay.
here, so now the artists have to come ready to deliver.
Okay.
It was a point to whereas we could faked the funk a little bit
Right.
with cuts and things to that nature previously. But now we're dealing with the live audience. We got to be ready to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Right.
action. That's it. So we got to have artists that are ready.
So let's talk about feedback. I know that you guys get a lot of feedback on your show. Let's talk about that and how does it really encourage you guys to give you guys extra energy?
The first show we did have, the first taping that we did, we actually did have a live audience. That's when it kind of went left, when we didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do. So the live aspect, the live audience was always something that we wanted to encapsulate, but we just didn't know how to physically do it within our parameters.
Okay.
So go ahead and pick up on that. I just wanted to throw that part in, like the live aspect was always a part of it, but we just had to figure out how to facilitate it.
Right.
Because that first night, I can remember that first night. I had the stage set up, everything was wired correctly, and we knew we was going to do some performances, but then we thought we was going to do the interview the same day. This is us not knowing how to go about this show.
Right.
And we had an audience of maybe 23 people jammed inside this living room.
Oh, okay.
And to not know what you're doing and then you have to deal with an audience, it just wasn't going to work out that way. So we did remove the audience after some time so that we can focus on perfecting what the show is supposed to look like without having an audience involvement.
Okay.
Give it a more cinematic look.
Okay. So who develops the concept? Because you guys actually shoot from a real studio. So 29 minutes. How do you compel that? How do you compact that?
We have a great blueprint.
Okay.
We have a great blueprint. We try to stick to that blueprint. It's a great foundation. Stick to that blueprint. That blueprint is a format that I did come up with.
Okay.
Just as far as to have a structure. Every TV show that you watch, it has a structure to it. So we wanted to come up with our own format, our own structure. And as long as we stick to that blueprint, we're always ready.
Okay, that's cool. And Will, you know, being a host, now, because you're really good as a host, and you ask the most unique questions and things of that nature. How do you come up with your unique way of actually expediting that?
I tried to listen to their music and think what interests me. Again, the music, our show is supposed to be about the lyrics.
Okay.
So that helps to always be able to focus on the lyrics of the songs. I don't have to go into people's necessarily their history, their personal life, and things that they may not want to disclose. We're talking about the lyrics of the song.
Right.
So you can make up anything if you don't want to tell me the truth.
Right.
You can make up anything, but as long as we're talking about the lyrics, that's the base of it. As long as we stick to that, you can't go astray from it.
Okay. Jason, you know, being the fact that I see you running around and you're, you know, getting things in order and things of that nature, man. How does it make you feel just to be able to actually have a concept in your head and really putting it into reality as a video?
It's like an accomplishment every time, laying out everything, because I know the template, and so as long as I follow it, it's just putting the puzzle pieces in, and being that every artist is different, you can't really copy and paste anything. It's pretty much, it has to be solely focused on that artist.
Okay.
But we do follow the template to make that happen.
I'm going to ask both of y'all this questions. How would you describe your style?
That's interesting.
How about, can I explain Jason's style and then Jason explain my style?
If you guys want to convert,
I think
that's fine.
easier. I think it's easier to do it that way. I think
Okay.
Jason is extremely organized mentally. He has everything planned out ahead of time.
I'm a Taurus.
Person of balance.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit opposite of that. I'm a Gemini. I kind of operate off of the air.
Oh,
I kind of
he's
operate.
off the chain.
I kind of operate off of the whim. I kind of operate with what's given to me versus tools that I have to go out and get. I tend to operate with what's in front of me. Jason will say, we need this, and we need this. I'm like, well, we don't have that. Jason is like, we need this, and we need this. So it's all about just making it happen.
You know, having a team is very important in your show, and I see that. That's a very valid tool. You know, and how did you actually get them to actually get to their point to, you know, get things done the way that things are supposed to be done, Jason?
Visually training.
Okay.
I'm a visual learner as well, and usually when we did have trouble with, trying to convey the message of what we were going to do. So I had to reenact every shot that we're doing for someone to understand it. And once we got that, it was just pretty much practicing with the shots.
Right.
I'm very big on dynamic shots.
Okay.
And so, a team is needed to do that.
Okay. So the communication between you guys, let's talk about that, because that's a very interesting thing as a team.
Yeah.
So when I say team, I mean you two. Then we talk about the whole team as far as the cameraman, the guys that actually, that does the, that does the things on the floor for you guys, and the floor manager and things of that nature. How would you describe the communication between you guys? Is there ever a point where you guys disagree about something?
Well, our community, we have worked together in a way
I see
to
I see the expression on Jason's face, so he made it kind of valid.
we don't. Our communication a lot of times is nonverbal. We can communicate
Without
without
talking.
even talking. Like sometimes we're so in sync
Right.
that we don't need to talk, and we also trust each other in our job.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust Jason to do what it is that he's supposed to do, and I stay out of his way.
Right.
He trusts me to do what I'm supposed to do, and he stays out of my way.
Right.
And then we come together in the middle. And I think that being as though we started with just the two of us,
Okay.
we had to do everything, so it's so easy for me to tell someone else how to do what it is that I've been doing. So I think as far as giving directions to the team and letting things trickle down, I think it's easy because we've done everything.
Okay.
We're not explaining something that we don't know anything about. We've had our hands on all the different components
Right.
of the show.
As manual
So
as you
we
can
know what it takes to get what we need. So it's easy to get that from someone.
Okay. How would you guys describe the fact of actually getting your audience's attention? To keep the viewers just stagnated to the point where they're like, wow. You ever thought about that?
It's the experience. I'm really
Okay.
big on audience experience. I want them to feel like they're coming into this Disney park and they're seeing this nice entrance, and then there's just so much to work with. Everything is cohesive. It's just to watch the expression of when the audience members come inside the studio and they see the smoke in the air and the music is playing and they're seeing the colorful, vibrant set. Just to watch their face saying, wow, oh, this looks amazing.
Right, okay.
Then,
And And I think that we stayed true to that. Like, again, it started out from an idea that was a party. I know how to throw a party. I know how to make people have fun.
Okay.
And I want that, and that environment, that feeling of that party, that getting ready to have a good time. We want each week to be like that. Like each week you're coming to a party, an actual party.
Okay. So what will make your show so different from other people that's actually doing the same thing you guys are doing? Because I know the competition is real sometimes and the authenticity is different sometimes. So what would make your show a little bit more different than other people that's actually doing that?
The artist.
Okay.
It's the artist selection. It's being that we're talking about lyrics. Most music shows, they talk about the normal stuff, the bio, and how their day is or what's been going on in the studio. But we're trying to get a story, because story is everything. And to get a story out of a lyric, 'cause a lot of lyrics are written in metaphors, and we're, the team that wants to get the juicy story that came out of why you wrote this. And that's what he does when he's getting it out of the artist.
The artist itself, have you ever heard that by them being on your show has took them to a whole different level in their career?
They have to prepare differently.
Yeah.
So once you have been on this platform, you are prepared to step on a stage larger than ours.
Okay.
We are, even though we were small, we were in an apartment. It was like we were training for the Apollo. We were training for Madison Square Garden. We were training for these big venues so that they could take performing in our venue somewhere else and they would be ready, because they had 4 eyes and 4 ears on them versus 20,000 eyes and 20,000 ears, but those 4 eyes and 4 ears were very, very meticulous.
Okay.
So that it trained you, it got you ready. Like, not to have, I don't want anyone to fear me, but I do want people to respect my style.
Right, right.
Respect my conglomerate. Respect the fact that I'm gonna want close to perfection, as close to perfection as we can get.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question is, Jason, due to the fact that you do this and you have accomplished certain, formalities of the show, do you feel like do you feel like you always want to upgrade it to the point where it's going to be like infinite? This is going to be like extraordinary?
Are you laughing? Because
Well,
he's laughing because every season we did something different.
Okay.
Every season.
But who comes up with the concept for every season?
As far as visually how everything looks is me. I would draw it out, color it. It's like a whole sketch pad. And I come up with ideas of stage sets and how is this going to work logistically? Is there enough outlets to do this? So it's like a lot of things that I have to like look through to make it visually appealing. The fact that it was in an apartment, I had to make it look like it wasn't in an apartment.
Right.
So when you see the set, it's like nothing you've seen before inside an apartment.
Right.
You just guys got to see it. You got to check it out.
Okay. So this question's for both of you guys. What's the biggest challenge?
I would say staying in it.
Okay.
Even though, you get up, you do what you have to do, you're focused, you're driven, and you're hungry, you're thirsty. It is also outside elements that sometimes you're just tired.
Right, right.
You're just tired. We're not getting paid for this.
Right.
We're working to give someone else a platform to where they could shine.
Okay.
And so we have to we're putting ourselves on the back burner
Right.
in order to make someone else shine. So you just sometimes, if you lose sight of the big picture, you forget what we're here to do and you get tired.
Okay.
But you can't get tired because
Do you
the show
guys-
must go on.
But do you guys get like creative block?
All the time.
Really? And so how do you overcome that?
I start drawing it out because the whole visual thing. If something is wrong, I'll draw it out, and even if it's situation involving people, draw those people. And if I do this, is this gonna go this way? If this person does this, is this gonna happen? And just thinking out at least 3 to 4 steps.
And always go back to the blueprint.
Right.
As long as you have that blueprint, as long as you have that template, when things get astray or go off from that template, you can always go back to like, what am I missing? What am I missing? I'm missing authenticity.
Right, okay.
I'm missing this, I'm missing that. But you can always find that missing piece if you go back to the blueprint.
Before we go on break, I just want to ask something. Do you guys religiously look at the playbacks?
I do, and don't laugh at me.
Okay.
Totally opposites when it comes
Yeah,
to
Really?
that.
I watch every episode since day one, still to this day, and it's just me nitpicking. Like I'll be like, okay, I see why I changed this, or maybe I have a better idea.
Okay.
It's always to just look at it. But doing that is like being an archivist, because
Okay.
you'll call out an artist, I'll tell you what season, what episode, and what they did.
Okay. And we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Jason, let's go see your room.
And we're back. The show is called The Legends. We have Jason Valentine and Will B. Walker in the house. Next Sound Live. Let me ask you a question. You know, we talked about playing back and looking at the series itself and things of that nature and trying to increase it to the point where you feel that I can just add something in that's going to make it extravagant and things of that nature. When you do that and things of that, I mean, what's the feeling like when you can actually do that?
It's like the possibilities are endless. I'm sure it does happen in the show.
Right.
You know, wherever it needs. If there's any flaws, I'll find something to, you know, hide that flaw, if need be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever fired a team member due to the fact that they can't follow instructions?
No, but a couple of people's episode didn't air because
really? Oh,
they
because-
weren't up to the standards of the show.
Okay. And how did you actually approach them?
Through
Yeah,
email.
Really?
not face to face, definitely.
Okay.
But the
So they
conversation
start
just.
buzzing you up on
Well,
the
we
cell
have
though, right?
contracts, and then that's also something that's grown. So
Okay.
like we weren't doing contracts before. We were just
Right.
like show up, and we're gonna trust you to do your thing. You trust us. You don't do that. We have contracts that say you're going to be prepared, ready, interview ready to perform and everything, so that if either your performance is lackluster or your interview is lackluster, we don't have to air that. That's a way that we had to grow to protect ourselves because everyone wasn't ready. But then that also goes to us vetting our artists more to see who is actually ready and who isn't ready.
Do you feel that you guys are ready for like major TV?
This is major TV. What
But
are you
I'm just
talking
saying,
about?
But I'm saying on a more upper scale, like, you know, CBS, NBC, things like that.
Yeah, the show is definitely structured. It's structured.
structured
It's
to
laid
do
out,
that.
and it's ready. It's ready to be shipped and mass produced.
Okay, so when y'all gonna step up? When y'all guys gonna step up?
Well, we are.
Because I think you guys are ready.
Yes. We're going to be going to Tubi.
Okay.
Next Sound Live. So, you know, streaming is very big today.
Right.
You know, eventually cable, you know, will become obsolete. It's going to be all streaming. I even think that cable companies will probably have their own apps where you can watch their cable channels live through the app, you know, to get rid of the old school boxes and things like that you don't need. But it's pretty much structured for TV and streaming services.
No.
And this is a starting point, Tubi, and then, you know, maybe one day get it to Netflix.
Okay. Well, hey, man, don't forget about me, man. You know, I wanted to ask both of you guys, I'm going to start with you, Will. You know, due to the fact of what you guys do, who was your biggest influence at that point when you first started?
My biggest influence has always been, growing up, I had a director, Freddie Hendricks, who's directed so many great artists. And so he, one big thing that I learned from him was picture.
Right.
Anytime you're on a stage, someone is gonna take your picture. So anytime you're doing any movement, anything, everything should be a picture. And so from there, that's where I got my whole cinema, how I view things
Okay.
cinemagraphically. Everything should be a picture, everything in the space. When I do music videos, each moment, each frame by frame, pictures are only 160 frames in a second.
Right.
So each of those frames, 60 frames per second. Each of those frames is a moment. So my biggest inspiration was my director growing up.
So I take
Freddie
it that you're
Hendricks.
camera savvy.
No, I'm more of knowing how it should look versus
You know,
making it
the
do
way
it.
he was explaining it, like, you know, like I've been behind the camera, you know what I'm saying? Same question for you, Jason.
My biggest influence, I know a lot of people won't agree with this, but I'm a Vince McMahon fan. And we all know who that is.
Yes,
and we all know
very much.
what's going on. But his mind was very, like, he bought the company from his father, who had a wrestling company. And Vince wanted to be an entertainment company. It's two different things. It's not just two people wrestling in a ring and that's it. I want to hear why you're fighting. I want to see the story to this. And so that was my biggest influence, how to turn everything I do into something very entertaining for a viewer.
I see.
So I'm very big on that.
So you guys say it's not only just a show, it's a community and a movement. things of that nature. Define movement.
Something that's taken over.
Okay.
You started out one way, and then it's just transformed and grown and grown and grown. So it's
Just taking off.
just taking off.
I hear you. You know, for people that actually wants to get into this type of fun, you know, this craft and things of that nature, what would you actually say to them, Will?
Don't give up. Keep doing it. Stay at it. Practice, 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 practice. Do.
Okay.
Practice and do. That's the only way to make it.
Okay. And you, Jay?
It is practicing. Be willing to tear walls down if you have to. I'm a noisemaker. I like
Okay.
to like.
You like excitement?
Yes, it's the excitement, heads turning, and I need that because that's like you get that control. It's like, you know,
As far as marketing strategy for the show, who does that?
I do.
Okay, and let's talk about your strategy.
Color is everything. Purple is a eye-catching color.
Right.
It's like the new black. It's vibrancy, showing excitement from the audience to be able to see them cheering and yelling, and then you're seeing the artists really give their all, and you got all this footage just moving to the excitement that's happening at the moment, and that makes it easier to market the show.
Okay.
There's so much of that.
Okay. Will, how do they actually contact you?
We do a promo every week on the show
Okay.
where we say click this link. We made it so seamless.
Right.
The only thing you have to do is click and follow their instructions. They submit to a QR code, submit their music links, how we can contact them, and that's how it's all done through watching the show, clicking on our submission form, and
Right.
submitting music links and your bio.
Do the line. You know the line.
Any upcoming events you want to leak to the audience before we actually?
No, just stay tuned to Next Sound Live. We're on Sundays
At 5
BronxNet,
Okay.
Arts Channel. Tune in. Expect more to come from us, but for right now, tune in each week at 5 and pay attention to what's coming in the future.
It's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I mean, a real pleasure to have both of you guys on my show.
Thank you.
Success to both of you guys on the show.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you guys tune in and watch their show. Support them, you know, and they're definitely going to be going places. And this has been another T-Lo video production, and you guys stay tuned for another one of my episodes. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.